Just like on Earth, when Kal-El was school-aged on Krypton, he had difficulty fitting in at school and in society. He himself didn't want to fit in. The thoughts of ordinary people bored him. For example, in school essays, he would write according to his own thoughts about the things he saw and experienced every day, without referencing any prescribed scriptures or books. But no matter how accurate his facts were, if they weren't included in the curriculum and the Science League's regulations, the teachers who didn't accept this would often send complaints to his parents, saying that this way he wouldn't even qualify to enter the Science Academy. But Kal-El preferred to run and play in nature and in the fields with his dog, Crypto, more than friends and parties. What he wanted was to explore the remote countryside and strange places with his parents, which were the happiest and most important things for him. This time, Jor-El took his family to a place on Krypton that, on Earth, would be seen as an icy fortress of solitude, but was beautifully created with red crystals. While showing Kal this beautiful place, his parents were going to scold him about the complaints they were receiving about his schoolwork. But young Kal-El's reply was, "I can't help it. What comes out of me are words, and writing those words makes me happy. What they write and what they say are just words from books." Instead of scolding him, Jor-El and Lara patted his head and said, "Keep it up." They themselves were also very intelligent and had been ostracized for standing for the truth. And listen closely, these are not just words from comic books. These are words that every mother and father in the world should say to their children to encourage and support them. His mother, Lara, said, "I don't care what your grades say. You're the sharpest, most caring kid in the whole world. We trust you to find your own path, but you have to chase your passion, Kal-El. Whatever it leads you. Do that with all your heart, and I promise you, you'll be unstoppable." His father, Jor-El, said, "We don't know what you want to do, but the path you will take will not be easy. It will be difficult and rough, but pursue what makes you happy with all your heart. Those things will lead you to what you want most." And that's what makes Superman very special. Superman is still the greatest superhero, the best, purest, and most powerful character because of his parents. Because Superman was raised in the best way by both his biological and adoptive parents in every story, he has the purest heart even though he possesses infinite powers. And in this story, all Kal-El wanted was to travel around the planet with his parents. But to prevent this from happening, bad things started to interfere. Without telling young Kal-El, his father started working twice as much in the mines. He would bring work home instead of leaving it at work. His mother, Lara, was always inventing something in the warehouse. Kal-El, who understood what was happening, came out one night and eavesdropped on their conversation. Jor was always warning the higher-ups that bad things would happen soon, but they labeled him a heretic rather than believing a miner's words. While listening to these things, Kal-El, feeling confused, went for a walk, and Crypto barked sharply at something. When he shone a light on it, he saw squirrel-like creatures. These creatures were being corroded to the bone by green fumes like kryptonite, and many of them were dead. When Kal rode around on his bicycle, he saw that these fumes were also corroding the soil. Cows, fish, and bat caves were all being burned and destroyed by these fumes. On his way home, he saw that the fields where he used to run and play were burning in patches. But the official news posted by the Science League said it was just natural gas leaks. These are normal occurrences in villages, and there's nothing to worry about. Now, when Kal and his classmates went to the city on a field trip to the Clerics by train, they saw that these incidents were not only happening in the villages, but also along the way, with trains destroyed and these fumes killing not just animals, but people as well. While still on the train, Kal wrote a report about what was happening for the school newspaper. Before they even reached the city, his report was removed, and even a letter was sent for his parents to have a meeting. Kal-El didn't really care about this boring field trip. But when he heard his father shouting from somewhere, he went to investigate what was happening. What he saw was Jor-El shouting and warning about the planet's destruction, while security guards were forcibly dragging him away. When Jor-El saw Kal, he warned him to go home and tell his mother. But before he could finish his sentence, he was struck by an electric shock to the face. Kal recalled that this was the first time he let his emotions erupt as he shouted, "Get away from my dad!" and punched one of the guards. But the security guard pushed young Kal away and took his father away, while Kal could do nothing but watch. He continued saying, "At that moment, I did the only thing I could. I ran to my mother, shouting, 'Mom!' Immediately after hearing the news, Laura, who had been expecting the situation, ran into the warehouse. She had instructed her son that if anything happened, he should run straight home and call Sol in the warehouse. At that moment, as soon as she called out Sol, the suit activated and attached itself to Laura. The cool Superman's mother, holding a gun, tried on the suit she had invented and went out with her dog and son to save her husband. Lara, along with Krypto, entered the room where Jor-El was being held and eliminated the guards with lava guns and spike bombs. And she rescued Jor-El in the coolest style. On the other hand, Kal, while investigating the information in the detention area, found large spaceships that the higher-ups and clerics had prepared to go into space. During the planet's destruction, these top-level people were trying to escape in those ships, taking everything they could. Now, Superman's family has been freed and they are returning home. His parents tried to explain to young Kal that the planet was going to be destroyed, but the intelligent Kal already knew everything. And then he shouted and asked, "You're going to put me in a suit and launch me into space, aren't you?" But unlike the usual stories, Jor-El said, "We're going together," and showed him the large ship they had created. This ship is also the suit that Superman wears on Earth. Jor-El and his family are not corrupt like the higher-ups. They want to save as many Kryptonians as they can. "So, where are we going?" Kal-El asked, looking at the ship, and then the story showed the current event on Earth in the present time. In a nursing home in the small village of Smallville, two nurses were talking about a very pitiful old woman. This old woman kept calling out, "Angel, Angel." She would recite all day, "Angel, please come back to your mother. Please come back." According to the name tag on her wrist, this is Superman's adoptive mother, Martha Kent. Because she cried like this every day, the nurses tried to help find the son she wanted to see. But according to the records, she had never given birth to a child. But on the table beside her, there was a photo of her smiling, taken with her husband and son. So this is Absolute Superman issue 3. I personally like this comic and will continue to upload it to the end. If you want to follow along, please subscribe. See you in the next videos, guys. Have a nice day.